If you're over 60, there's something you need to know. These 5 fruits, yes. Fruits might be quietly increasing your risk of stroke while you sleep. No warning signs. No pain. 1 minute you're feeling fine, and the next, your speech is slurred. Your vision is blurred. Or you can't lift your arm. As someone who works closely with stroke patients, I've seen this too many times. Not always because of smoking or poor diet, or even high cholesterol. Often, it comes from something most people assume is healthy fruit. Every day, millions of seniors reach for bananas, grapes, pineapple, watermelon, or a glass of juice, believing they're doing something good for their body. And while fruit is a vital part of nutrition, certain types, especially eaten at the wrong time, can spike your blood pressure, destabilize your blood sugar, and put strain on your brain when it's most vulnerable at night. These effects are subtle at first, but over time, they can set the stage for real danger. That's why today, we're going to walk through 5 fruits that may do more harm than good after 60, and how to enjoy fruit in a way that protects your heart, your brain, and your independence. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Bananas. Heart healthy but dangerous for nighttime blood pressure in seniors. Most seniors think of bananas as one of the safest foods you can eat. They're soft, easy to chew, full of potassium, and often recommended for heart health. But what many people over 60 never hear is this: eating bananas at the wrong time, especially in the evening, could quietly set you up for a stroke in your sleep. And yes, I mean that literally. Let me explain. As a neurologist, I've seen hundreds of stroke cases in older adults, but one story still sits with me. Leonard Hayes, Tisserset, was a retired mechanic from Michigan. Every night after dinner, he had the same habit: a cup of herbal tea and 2 ripe bananas. He truly believed it was helping his heart and calming his leg cramps. He was doing what he thought was right. But one morning, his wife found him half-conscious on the bedroom floor. He couldn't speak clearly. His right side was limp. It was a nighttime stroke. No warning. No pain. Just silence. The lab tests later revealed what triggered it. Leonard's blood pressure had dropped too low overnight, and his sodium levels were unbalanced. His nightly banana routine, when paired with his evening dose of lisinopril, a common blood pressure medication, had tipped his system into dangerous territory. You see, bananas contain a lot of potassium. Normally, that's a good thing. But as we age, our kidneys don't clear potassium as efficiently. Add to that some natural overnight dehydration and slower metabolism, and your body becomes more sensitive to potassium overload. The result: lower blood pressure than expected, disrupted electrolytes, and reduced blood flow to the brain, all while you sleep. It's not just about Leonard. This happens more often than you think. What makes it so scary is that there are usually no early symptoms. Most seniors have no idea their heart rate is slowing, or their blood pressure is dipping too low. They're asleep while their brain is quietly starving for oxygen. Too much potassium can slow your pulse, weaken your heartbeat, and in some cases, cause cardiac arrest or stroke before morning light. Now, let's be clear. Bananas aren't bad. But when, how much, and what else you're taking alongside them especially. Medications matters more than you realize. For seniors, 1 small banana in the morning is generally fine. But eating 2 or more bananas in the evening, especially if you're on ACE inhibitors or diuretics, can be risky. Mr. A survived, but he now uses a walker and needs speech therapy. His independence, his ability to drive, even speak clearly was taken from him in one night by a fruit he trusted. So if bananas are part of your nighttime habit, please talk to your doctor. Review your meds. Don't assume that something natural is automatically safe, especially not after 60. And if that surprised you, wait until you hear about the sweet tropical fruit that acts like a blood thinner. For seniors on heart meds, that one could be even more dangerous. If you found this helpful, please comment one below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 2. 2. Pineapple. The hidden blood thinner that can cause brain bleeds in seniors. If you're over 65 and taking any kind of heart or blood pressure medication, there's a tropical fruit in your kitchen that might be doing the exact opposite of what you hoped. It's sweet, juicy, and often praised for its anti-inflammatory benefits, pineapple. Many older adults reach for it thinking it's a smart, natural choice. But here's what almost no one is telling you. Pineapple contains a natural enzyme called bromelain, and for seniors on blood-thinning medications, that can quietly become a serious problem. Bromelain acts a lot like a blood thinner. It interferes with how your body clots, and while that might sound like a benefit for heart health, it can go too far, especially if you're already taking common medications like aspirin, warfarin, or Plavix. Adding pineapple into the mix may push your blood too far in the other direction. When clotting slows down too much, even a tiny vessel in your brain can burst sometimes without warning. I'll never forget Mrs. Helen Eyre, 81 years old, a retired school teacher from Michigan. She came into my clinic with a pounding headache and dizziness. Her son thought it was just the flu. But a quick scan revealed something more serious, a small brain bleed. She hadn't fallen, hadn't changed her medications, and her blood pressure was steady. But she had recently added a new habit to her routine, drinking a glass of fresh pineapple juice every morning, hoping it would help her joints. It didn't help. It thinned her blood just enough, in combination with her daily low-dose aspirin, to lower her clotting markers and leave her brain vulnerable. One small vessel gave way. She survived the stroke, but it changed her life. Her balance never fully returned. She now needs help with things like showering. Her daughter now checks every food label. And Helen, through tears, told me, "I wish someone had warned me that fruit could bleed my brain." The damage wasn't loud or dramatic, but it was deep. It didn't happen all at once. It added up slowly, one well-meaning sip at a time. That's why if you're on blood thinners, it's so important to be cautious. Even something natural, something healthy can become harmful depending on your situation. Pineapple isn't evil, but in the wrong context, it becomes dangerous. And just when you think avoiding blood-thinning fruits is enough, there's another fruit that looks innocent on the outside, but floods your system with sugar, quietly fueling inflammation deep inside the brain. That's what we'll look at next. 3. Grapes. Sweet on the outside, silently harmful to the aging brain. Grapes seem harmless. Don't they, small? Soft. Sweet. The kind of fruit you can eat mindlessly by the handful. Many folks over 60 keep them on the counter or tucked into the fridge, thinking they're making a smart, heart-healthy choice. But what if I told you that those innocent-looking grapes, especially the super sweet, seedless kind, can quietly put your brain and blood vessels at risk? Here's what's happening behind the scenes. Grapes are packed with fructose, a fast-acting natural sugar, when you eat them on their own, especially late in the evening. That sugar hits your bloodstream hard and fast. No protein, no fiber, no fat to slow it down. Just a surge. In a younger body, that spike might not be a big deal. But for seniors, it's a different story. As we age, our ability to regulate blood sugar becomes less precise. That means those nighttime sugar surges can cause wild swings, spikes, crashes, and inflammation that doesn't go away. That inflammation, especially in the small vessels of the brain, can raise the risk of silent strokes, tiny brain events that don't show immediate symptoms but slowly chip away at memory, clarity, and balance. One patient I'll never forget is Harold M., 76 years old. He came to my clinic complaining about feeling foggy in the mornings. Some days, he was lightheaded. Others, he couldn't find the right words. His son assumed it was just old age or dehydration. But an MRI told a different story. Multiple microstrokes, silent but damaging. And the trigger, his evening routine, a large bowl of grapes while watching television. Better than cookies, he said. But in reality, that nightly bowl was spiking his blood sugar, working against his medications, and overloading his system. With prediabetes and blood pressure meds already in the mix, those grapes became a dangerous addition. Harold survived, but his independence didn't. Today, he needs help with tasks he used to do without thinking, getting dressed, remembering appointments, managing simple conversations. That's how something so sweet can become so costly. It's not about scaring you. It's about awareness. Grapes are not poison, but they're powerful. And like any powerful thing, they need to be handled with care, especially if you're over 60. Especially if you're taking meds for blood pressure, diabetes, or circulation. If you love grapes, don't panic. Just eat them differently, earlier in the day, in smaller amounts, and always paired with protein or healthy fat like a few almonds or a piece of cheese. That slows the sugar rush and gives your body a better chance to handle it. Because when it comes to your brain, your balance, and your ability to live on your own terms, no fruit is worth the risk of losing what you've worked so hard to protect. And if grapes surprised you, wait until you hear what watermelon, a fruit we often rely on for hydration, might be doing to your blood pressure while you sleep. Let's take a look at that next. 4. Watermelon. Refreshing by day, dangerous by night for aging blood vessels. Watermelon feels like the perfect summertime treat. It's light, juicy, and comforting, especially for older adults looking to cool down or enjoy something easy on the stomach. After all, it's low in calories, high in water, and doesn't upset digestion. But what many seniors don't realize is that eating watermelon in the evening, especially before bed, can quietly create the conditions for something much more serious, a stroke in your sleep. You see, watermelon is made up of over 90% water. It also contains citrulline, an amino acid that naturally relaxes blood vessels, helping them widen and carry blood more freely. That might sound helpful, and in some cases it is. But for seniors, especially those already on blood pressure medications or water pills, this combination can be more dangerous than it seems. When you eat watermelon at night, 2 things happen. First, your blood vessels expand. Second, your body starts flushing out fluids. And when you're also taking medications that lower blood pressure or increase urination, this can lead to an unexpected drop in blood volume and pressure during the night. That sudden dip may not wake you, but your brain feels it. It needs steady oxygen and hydration throughout the night. And when that supply falters, the risk of a silent stroke increases. No warning, no chest pain, just subtle damage that shows up the next morning when something feels off. I remember one patient clearly misses. Lillian R., 79 years old. She had a habit of ending her July evenings with a large bowl of cold watermelon. It helped her stay cool. She said. She also happened to be on a diuretic and a beta blocker for heart issues. One morning, she couldn't steady herself getting out of bed. Her speech was slow and unclear. A scan at the hospital confirmed what we feared: a nighttime stroke, likely triggered by low hydration and sudden drops in blood pressure while she slept. She hadn't felt anything during the night. She didn't suspect a thing. She told me with quiet disbelief. I just thought I was doing something good for myself. And that's the heartbreaking part. It wasn't junk food or soda. It wasn't neglect. It was a simple fruit, eaten with good intentions, but at the wrong time and in the wrong context. So yes, watermelon is refreshing. It does have benefits, but when you're over 60 and managing your health carefully, timing, medications, and portion size matter more than ever. If you enjoy it, to try having it earlier in the day, when your body is more prepared to manage fluid shifts and pressure changes. And if you found this unsettling, you'll want to stay with me for what's next. Because the final fruit on this list isn't just sweet, it's bottled, widely trusted, and quietly one of the biggest hidden stroke risks I've ever encountered. Let's take a closer look. 5. Fruit juices. The healthy choice that spikes your blood pressure and threatens your brain. We've all seen it. The smiling senior in a commercial, sipping a tall glass of juice under a label that reads 100% natural or no added sugar. It feels like the responsible choice, easy, light, and full of vitamins. For many older adults, it's become part of their morning routine. But as someone who's treated stroke patients for decades, I need to tell you something. Most labels won't. That glass of juice might be quietly doing more harm than good, especially after 65. You see, fruit juice, even the kind without added sugar, is still incredibly concentrated. It's loaded with natural fructose and stripped of the fiber that slows down sugar absorption. What that means is this: the moment you drink it, your blood sugar rises fast. That sharp rise doesn't just affect your energy, it sends a wave of stress through your blood vessels, increases blood pressure, and over time can inflame the tiny arteries in your brain. Younger bodies can often manage that swing. But in seniors, especially those on medications like beta blockers, statins, or diuretics, these daily spikes and crashes begin to wear the system down. And it often goes unnoticed until something serious happens. One case I'll never forget was Mr. Doo-Doo 5. Frank M. Bashasu, a retired mail carrier from Ohio. He came into my office with flushed cheeks, lightheaded mornings, and a racing heartbeat. His family thought it was just aging, maybe dehydration. But after some tests and one key question, we found the cause. I asked him, "What do you eat in the morning?" His answer, "Just a piece of toast and a tall glass of orange juice. No sugar added." That juice, taken every single morning for over a decade, was acting like a sugar-loaded jolt, without the fiber of a whole fruit. It was flooding his system with fast sugar, shocking his heart, and straining his blood vessels all before 9 a.m. We discovered he'd even had a mild stroke a few months back and didn't realize it. Just blamed it on brain fog. After we adjusted his breakfast, swapped the juice for water and whole fruit, and focused on hydration, his symptoms improved within weeks. The palpitations faded, but the damage had already left its mark. He now struggles with short-term memory and balance. A routine he thought was healthy had slowly chipped away at his brain health. One morning at a time. That's the heartbreaking part. Juice feels safe, comforting even, but for the aging brain and cardiovascular system, it can be a silent stressor. So if fruit juice is part of your daily habit, especially in the morning, now's the time to reconsider. Your body may need something gentler, steadier, more supportive, because what you choose to drink at the start of the day can shape everything that follows. And next, let's talk about the foods that do support brain health, real nourishment that works with your body, not against it. So what should you eat to stay safe? At this point, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed or even a bit unsettled. That's okay. It's a natural reaction after hearing that 5 fruits you may have trusted for decades could be quietly raising your risk of stroke, brain bleeds, or blood pressure instability. But let me reassure you, this isn't about fear. It's about knowledge. And knowledge gives you power. The choices you make at your next meal can either protect your brain and body or continue adding silent strain. The good news: you're in control. What you put on your plate today has far more power than any supplement bottle ever will. I think of one of my longtime patients, Mrs. Margaret W., age 73. She came to me feeling discouraged. She was doing everything right. Or so she thought. Her medicine cabinet was full vitamin D for bones, niacin for cholesterol, a daily multivitamin, and every morning she drank fruit juice and took her pills, hoping to feel better. But instead, her mornings were filled with lightheadedness. Her memory was foggy. Her blood pressure bounced all over the place. "I don't understand," she said. "I'm doing what they told me. Why am I feeling worse?" We sat down and stripped things back to basics. No more powders or pills without purpose. No more chasing trends. We focused on food, real food balanced in a way her body could absorb, process, and benefit from. Her new breakfast: simple. 1 hard-boiled egg for clean protein, half an avocado for healthy fats, a slice of whole grain toast to provide slow-burning energy, a handful of fresh blueberries packed with brain-protecting compounds, and a glass of room-temperature water to gently hydrate her system. No more orange juice. No sugar crashes. No surprises. 2 weeks later, she came in smiling. "It's like someone opened the windows in my head," she said. Her thinking was sharper. The dizziness had eased. Her numbers stabilized. And for the first time in years, she felt like she had her life back. Here's what I want every older adult to understand. Your body today is not the same body you had in your 40s or even your 50s. It doesn't need extreme doses of anything. It needs rhythm, balance, whole foods with fiber, hydration, and fats. Your brain can use. The safest foods for a senior's brain and body aren't hidden in a supplement aisle. They're often in your fridge or pantry already. Leafy greens like spinach or kale for their folate and antioxidants. Berries like blueberries for their anti-inflammatory power. Fatty fish like salmon for omega-3s. A handful of walnuts or flax seeds for vitamin E and brain circulation. Oats and quinoa for stable energy. Margaret still enjoys fruit, but now she does it with intention. She's not afraid of food anymore. She's empowered by it. "I didn't need to give up everything," she told me. "I just needed to stop being afraid of the truth." You have that same choice. This isn't about cutting joy out of eating. It's about stepping into your health with clarity and confidence. And sometimes the biggest danger isn't the food itself. It's the belief that something is safe when it quietly isn't. Let's take a closer look at those hidden habits next. Final wake-up call. What we assume is safe often comes from years of routine. A piece of fruit with dinner, a glass of juice in the morning, and a multivitamin with lunch. These are choices many seniors have made for decades. But with age, something subtle begins to change. The body processes things more slowly. the brain becomes more reactive to even slight shifts in blood sugar or pressure, and the heart, while still steady, starts to ask for a little more care. It's not that you've done anything wrong. In fact, most people I meet are trying to do everything right. They've traded cookies for fruit, soda for juice, heavy meals for lighter ones. They've followed what they believed was healthy advice, but still, they find themselves tired, dizzy, or sitting in a hospital bed wondering why their efforts weren't enough. The truth is, no one warned them. The packaging says natural or heart healthy, but it doesn't explain how that same food might interact with a blood pressure pill or affect your brain overnight when hydration levels dip. It doesn't tell you that the metabolism you had at 40 isn't the one you have now. And your brain, it doesn't always send a clear alarm. It sends whispers that get lost in the noise until one day they don't whisper at all. But it doesn't have to reach that point. The first step to real protection isn't in a supplement bottle. It's in knowing how your body is changing and being open to adjusting your habits, not drastic changes, just mindful ones. Many of my patients have found new energy and stability simply by eating earlier, swapping sweet juices for water, choosing protein before bed, and listening more closely to how their bodies feel after each meal. It's about looking at what's been routine and asking, is this still right for me? Because now, more than ever, the choices you make don't just support your life, they shape the quality of it. The freedom to stay independent, the clarity to enjoy conversations, and the strength to move through your day with confidence. All of that starts with awareness. So the next time you reach for something labeled healthy, take a pause, look closer, listen deeper. Make the choice not just for the body you had, but the body you have now, your brain, your balance, your independence. They're all worth protecting. And if any part of today's message has resonated with you, I'd love to know. Leave a comment below with the number 1 if you found this helpful. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss more videos just like this. Thank you for spending your time with me, and here's to living with strength, clarity, and on your own terms.